Hi everyone, so today's practice is involving spinal twists, so not suitable for pregnancy. It's about an intermediate vinyasa class and we'll get going. So again, first of all, as we always do, we begin with the legs crossed, just releasing shoulders down and away from the ears, clearing the mind, and we focus inwards to that breath, just slowing the breathing down. Remember our long and slow inhalations and exhalations through the nose. Just using this breath to settle the mind, settle the body, connecting the mind to the breath and the breath to the body. It's a slow, warming and calming breath. And so we can take an inhalation and lift both arms up. We take hold of the elbows and draw those shoulders away from the ears. And as we exhale, just rotate and turn slowly to the right hand side first of all. And then we breathe in to come back to center. And exhale to rotate, turn slowly to the left hand side. Again, we breathe into center. And exhale, rotate to the right. One more time, breathing in. We exhale, rotate. Bringing it back to center, releasing the arms. Again, leave these sitting bones connected to the floor and walk fingertips forwards. We exhale to round in the spine. And again, restack the vertebrae and change those legs over. So we bring the other leg in front. And same thing again, walking fingertips forwards. And we exhale to round in the spine. And then we roll slowly up through the spine and readjust, coming into our tabletop position. Hands are underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. First of all, as we inhale, we lift just that right arm and look up towards the fingertips. And then exhale to bend the left elbow and send the right arm underneath and through the gap. And again, we breathe in, lift that right arm looking towards the fingertips. And then exhale to bend the opposite elbow, sending the arm underneath and through the gap. Maybe lift and bring this left hand round and take hold of the thigh, half a bind. Again, we release, pressing to lift back into table, changing sides. We inhale to lift just the left arm, look towards the fingertips. Exhale, bend right elbow, send left arm underneath and through the gap. And again, one more time. Inhale, lift left arm. And then exhale, bend in the elbow, sending the arm underneath and through. This time, maybe lift right hand. Just bring the hand to take hold of the thigh, half a bind. And then again we can release. We press to lift back into our table. And this time just working that right shoulder towards the right hip. So we're making a C shape in the spine. And we can bend, soften in that elbow. Breathe into center. And then exhale, same to the other side. So we draw shoulder to the hip, create that C shape, soften left elbow. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in. One more time, breathe out. Inhale to center and tuck the toes underneath. Again, we float our knees away, pressing hips towards the ceiling into our downward facing dog. Option to stay here. Maybe we lift just this right hand and send the hand underneath and through for the lower leg or the opposite ankle and turn and look underneath that shoulder. And then again, bringing it back to center, we can leave both hands to the floor. Or this time we lift left arm, send that hand underneath and through for the lower leg or the ankle. And turn to look underneath the shoulder. And then again release. And so the knees soften and we slowly walk the feet forwards towards the hands. Knees bend, and we inhale to lift both arms. Bring palms together above the head. And then exhale, draw those hands down to the heart center. Finding our mountain pose, we bring the feet close, spread toes down into the floor, opening the palms, shoulders relaxed, tailbone tucks lightly underneath. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, hinge, come forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. And then we exhale to release, step into a lunge, then into a high plank. We bring both knees to the floor and exhale, bend the elbows. Remember, keep that extension in the spine. And then inhale, lift into a full cobra. Exhale, lifting either into table, or we tuck the toes and lift up and back into that downward facing dog. Trying to create that space across the back, just focusing inwards to that breath, finding stillness in this posture. Knees soften, heels lift, step into a lunge, then into a forward fold. And we bring either fingertips or palms down to the floor, or maybe 2 fingers around each big toe like a hook to fold. Releasing the feet. Inhale, lifting both arms. Exhale, hands to the heart center. From here, as we exhale, we rotate and turn slowly to the right hand side, keeping both hips facing forwards. So we're just working into that spine. Inhale to center. And then exhale, rotate, turning slowly to the left hand side. Inhale to center. Release shoulders and the arms. On the next inhalation, lift both arms. Exhale, hinge to come forwards. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale to release. The knees soften, step lunge, then high plank. Maybe bring those knees to the floor, or option weight comes forwards. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, lifting. Cobra or up dog. And then exhale either into table or up and back into our down dog. Inhale, lift and float right leg towards the ceiling. Keep that extension in the leg. Keep the hips squared, point the toes. Exhale, bend right knee round the spine, and we bring this right knee to the floor. We place right hand in front of that right knee, bring left heel to the floor, and lift this left arm. We can stay here, or we power down into this right hand and just float left foot away from the floor, creating space across the back. Hips are stacked one on top of the other. And again we release. We readjust into a high plank, either for chaturanga or bring knees down to the floor, just the elbows bend. Inhale, we lift, cobra or up dog. Exhale, either table or down dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Keep the engagement in that left leg, pointing toes, send the foot towards the ceiling. Exhale, bend left knee, pull that weight forwards and bring left knee to the floor. Place left hand in front of the knee, right heel down as well, and we lift this right arm, fingertips towards the ceiling. Maybe pressing into the left hand, we float right foot away from the floor, hips are stacked, opening across the back. And we release. Coming back into that high plank for chaturanga, or bring knees down. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, either into table or into our down dog. Knees soften, heels lift. Maybe step to lunge or float. Feet forwards, Uttanasana. Inhale, arms lift. Palms together. Exhale, hands, heart center. So we go for some deep twists. Breathe in, lift. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Knees bend, coming back, high plank. Either chaturanga or knees to the floor. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, table or down dog. Always an option to stay in table as an alternative to down dog. This time, inhale, lift and float right leg to the ceiling. And then exhale, bend right knee round the spine. We plant this right foot to the floor, softening left knee as well. And from here, press into that right foot, opening into that left hip joint. We release shoulders down. Low crescent moon lunge. We release both arms. And this time press against the floor with the left hand. Lifting right arm, we turn towards that right knee. Option, we stay here. We can flex the lower back leg and send right hand back to take hold of the foot if that feels comfortable for you. Option to lift and bring left arm to the outside of the thigh. Maybe send this left hand round to take hold of the foot with both hands. We can always double fold the mat for that knee if that feels more comfortable, or maybe just place a towel underneath that left knee. Again, we can release. Bring left hand to the floor, release left leg. Fingertips of the right hand towards the ceiling. Option, we tuck the toes, float back knee away from the floor. For a more intense twist, we can bring palms together and let the upper left arm find the outside of that thigh, hands to prayer. Option, for revolved side angle, release left hand and extend in the right arm, into a deep spinal twist. Helps to keep breathing and drive that left heel back as if we're pushing against a wall. So again, we can release to frame our front foot, then soften knees, stepping those feet in together, forward fold. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we bring hands to the centre. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, release, coming back, high plank, either bringing knees to the floor or exhale, full chaturanga. Inhale, we lift, cobra or up dog. Exhale, table or down dog. Remember, always an option to keep those knees to the floor. Inhale, float left leg. Exhale, bend left knee round the spine. Plant left foot to the floor this time. And then press against the floor with the right hand. We lift left arm, turning towards that left knee. We can keep it here. Maybe flex the lower right leg and send the left hand back to take hold of the foot. Option, we lift right arm and bring the forearm to the outside of that thigh. Or maybe sweep right arm round and take hold of the foot. Staying with the breath, opening into the ribcage for a small back bend if that feels comfortable. Again, same option applies. We can always place a towel or just double fold the mat underneath this right knee for more comfort. Again, we release, frame the front foot, then press against the floor with the right hand, lifting left arm, we turn towards the left knee. Option, tuck toes, float right knee away from the floor, maybe bring palms together, and let the upper right arm find the outside of the thigh, hands to prayer. Option, for revolved side angle, we release this right arm and extend left arm. into a deeper spinal twist. And again we release. Framing front foot, knees soften. Step feet in, forward fold. Inhale to lift. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, hinge. Inhale. Exhale, maybe step lunge, or we can float to chaturanga. Inhale, lift. Cobra or up dog. Exhale, either table or down dog. This time as we inhale, we float right leg to the ceiling, but we're aiming to open and stack the hips, bend that right knee. We can stay here, or for wild thing, bend this left knee, let the right foot drop to the floor. As we do that, we lift the right hand, press those hips to the ceiling, and open and dome through the ribs. Again, we soften the knees. We float right leg back up. Then exhale, sweep this right leg through. And here we're trying to open into this right hip joint and lengthen into the left leg. And we're trying to square the upper body. We come forwards. Fingertips or palms can stay to the floor. Maybe come forwards to the forearms, or release the upper body down into pigeon pose. And just try to breathe into that fold. If possible, maybe extend those arms so we open into the shoulders as well. Again, we bring those hands back. We press to lift again, away from the floor. And bring this left leg round to the front of the body, placing the foot close to the shin. Both sitting bones to the floor. We take hold of that lower left leg, or maybe interlace the fingers around the foot. Lifting the foot away from the floor, relax the shoulders. We create as much length and extension in the spine as possible. And exhale, press to lift that leg, coming into heron pose. So we're using this resistance to lift the upper body out towards those toes, trying to avoid collapsing backwards. So we lift. And if this isn't comfortable, we can always hold further up the leg somewhere. Release slightly. And we soften in this left knee, and either sit just with the legs crossed. We bring the foot to the crease of the opposite hip and lift right arm. Bring the arm to the outside of the left thigh and bring fingertips of the left hand down to the floor. Maybe bring this left hand round to take hold of the left foot for a bind. And we release. We readjust, pressing those hands through, either into table, or again, tuck the toes, lifting into down dog. Inhale, we float left leg to the ceiling, open and stack hips, bend left knee. Option, soften the knee, let left foot find the floor, lifting left hand, pressing those hips up. We open and dome through the ribs into wild thing. And again, knees soften. We float that left leg back up. Exhale, sweep this left leg through, lengthening right leg. Again, we square the upper body. We can stay upright, or maybe bring forearms or the upper body down to the floor. Option, we extend those arms, working into the shoulders as well. And just breathing into that fold. Again, we can bring the hands underneath or next to the shoulders, lifting the upper body away from the floor. And then bring right leg round to the front of the body, placing that foot close to the shin. Both sitting bones down, we take hold of the lower leg or interlace fingers around the foot if we have quite open hamstrings. Lifting the foot, relax shoulders and press to extend this right leg. We come into heron pose on the other side. Remember, using that resistance to lift the upper body out towards the toes. Keep that extension in the spine and keep breathing. Shoulders come away from those ears. And again, we can bend in the right knee this time, either sitting just with those legs crossed or bring the foot to the crease of the left hip as long as that feels okay on the knee joints. And we lift left arm, bring the arm to the outside of the thigh, fingertips of the right hand to the floor. Maybe sending this hand round to take hold of that foot for a bind. Again, we release. Readjust legs, pressing hands through either table or the toes tuck underneath, lifting into that down dog. Knees soften, heels lift, step or float forward folds. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, heart center. And again, take a vinyasa. So from our downward facing dog, knees soften, heels lift, float the feet in together, really close together this time. And drawing knees close, link those fingers behind the body. And just let the weight of the arms tip you into a fold here. The knees can be soft slightly. We take a long inhalation to prepare. As we exhale, release hands, sweep arms past the legs, knees soften. Draw in and up with that center. We lift chair pose, Utkatasana. Maybe bring palms together. Lift and let the left arm find the outside of that right thigh, hands to prayer. Option, opening arms for a deeper spinal twist. Then we change sides. Lift. Bring right arm to the outside of the thigh, hands to prayer, left shoulder drawn back. Maybe opening those arms, deeper spinal twist. Palms together. Inhale. Exhale, lift chair pose, Utkatasana. Again, we exhale to release to the floor. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, hands, heart center. And so we turn out from our right hip, first of all. And again, we can leave ball of the foot to the floor, the calf, or we lift to the thigh. So we're taking tree pose as our base for a balance. We can stay here. Or inhale, lift both arms. Bring those palms together above the heads. And exhale, draw hands down to the heart center. Option to stay here in tree. Maybe turning in from that right hip so the knee faces forwards. We bring left hand to the right foot. Lift and draw right knee up. And then extend in that right arm. To go a bit further, we press into the left hand, maybe bring two fingers around the big toe if possible. Coming into Paravita Padangusthasana. find it helps to soften the supporting knee just slightly, just to improve that balance a little bit. Release. Change sides, turning out from that left hip. Either ball of the foot to the floor, the calf, or again we lift up to the thigh. And inhale to lift both arms slowly up. Bring palms together. And exhale, drawing hands down to the heart center. We can stay in our tree pose, so we can keep it here. Or we turn in from that left leg, from the left hip. Bring right hand to the left foot, lifting the foot away. And maybe press against either the foot or 2 fingers around the big toe, sending left arm back. Paravita Padangusthasana. Can we release? Feet close. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, hinge to come forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Stepping lunge or float chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And then exhale, table or down dog. Knees soften, heels lift, send hands wider. Float those feet through the gap. We inhale to sit tall, lengthening spine, arms along, fingertips forwards. Exhale, hinge hips, tuck tailbone underneath. Come slowly down through the spine, just connecting gradually to the floor. A couple of options. First of all, we bend right or both knees and place those feet flat to the floor. We inhale to imprint lower spine to the floor. And as we exhale, just begin to roll slowly up through the spine. So we lift gradually away, interlace fingers underneath the body, and block the floor with the feet and the shoulders, lifting those hips. We expand across the ribcage. Option to stay here, so we can keep it in a bridge pose. If we have wheel in our practice, we'd like to go a bit further. Lift hands, bring fingertips to face towards the shoulders. Same concept, breathe in to prepare. Breathe out, lift, and press into wheel. Try not to let those knees roll out to the side, really resisting the floor with the heel of the hands into our back bend. If we've taken full wheel, first of all bring chin to chest, soften the elbows and come slowly and safely back down through the spine. Lift both feet, the knees bend. We take hold either of the inside of the shins or the outside of the feet, or bring 2 fingers around each big toe, drawing knees towards the floor, and then rock gently from side to side. Just releasing any tension in that back, opening into the hip joints also in happy baby pose. And then again, release both feet. Extend those legs, opening palms to the ceiling. We can release and relax into a Shavasana. So we can begin just to slow onto the side of the body. So again, we stack those hips, one shoulder to the floor, and lifting slowly away to find a seated position that's comfortable for you. Shoulders away from the ears. We take our deep breath in through the nose, lift both arms. Exhale out through the mouth, release. One more time, breathe in. Breathe out. Relax. Namaste.